Hello and welcome to Glitch Cube. We're a gaming podcast, and each week we take a deeper look into the art of video games. As always, I'm Christian.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening in once again as we dive further into the world of games. Now, this year alone has been such a crazy year for us as far as playing a bunch of games. We've been playing them like a lot lately. It's kind of weird. We're a gaming podcast, right? So we should be playing a lot of games, but it feels like we're going through them pretty quickly, a lot faster than expected, honestly. And some of the titles that we're playing are very long games, and we're getting through them fairly fast, especially in preparation for one of the biggest games being released pretty soon here. Well, hopefully it'll be one of the biggest games out there. Of course, we're talking about Zelda. By the time this comes out, we won't have played. No, we played a little bit of Zelda, but not officially have played Zelda.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But what we're going to do is actually go over some of the games that we've been playing, because there's a lot out there and there's a lot of amazing stuff. And we might be revisiting some titles that have been out for a little while that we missed out on. But that's part of the fun, right? And they're still amazing to us because it's new to us. But and then also we're going to be discussing some shows that we've been watching, maybe some projects that we're working on, all that good stuff. So this is going to be a nice little update episode, a little off the cuff, see what happens and see where it goes from here. But before, you know what? Let's just jump right in. Let's just see what happens. Do you want to start us off on our little update episode and maybe give us a little one that you've been working on?
Yeah. So since the last episode, I think the last game I had finished was Hollow Knight. And since then, I don't want to say I've been on a short game kick, but after beating Hollow Knight, I beat about 5 games in the span of a week, because they were all like really short, like much shorter than I thought they would be. But so like you said, this year for me, I feel like compared to last year, it started off strong. And it's interesting because I remember in last month or so, there was a lot of people kind of complaining, saying there's not enough good games out there. Like, we're in a dry season till Zelda, or I think they were like, oh, dry season till like Star Wars, right? Because a lot of people just play AAA, which, there's nothing wrong with that. But so many things get lost in between. And I'm just like sitting there like, how do these people just not play all kinds of stuff all the time? If it's a money issue, I understand. But if you're like, well, I'm playing Dead Space remake and now I'm not playing anything till Resident Evil 4, it's kind of like, damn, like there's so many good titles being released. Like, God, it almost feels like every week this year. Like, there's definitely some titles that are stronger than others. But it's just been nonstop for me. Like, I try to follow like game releases, and I have a list going where it's like, these are the games I want to check out that have come out this year alone. Like, I kind of been doing this every year, where I'm like making a list of games I want to check out, and then I go over them again when I want to actually play another game to see if it's actually worth my time. And this year it's just been like constant. And I've enjoyed almost all of them. I feel like last year I definitely played some games that were they were okay. I didn't struggle to beat them, but I just didn't have much interest. And plus, I had a kid last year, so like my time was very...
You were a little preoccupied, I would say.
Yeah, I couldn't really I couldn't play as many games as I wanted to towards the end of the year. Now that things have kind of settled and I understand like the times and all that kind of stuff, I'm able to kind of jump back in that grind. And I think it's like, I think about how, for me, after Zelda, there's nothing till Final Fantasy 16 for me, right? So, and that's the following month, right? I think it's June 22nd or something like that.
It's so crazy.
And
that's 2 giant games back to back like that.
yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like with the amount of time I can put in a day in a game, I feel like I'll probably be close to finishing Zelda by then.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. There could be a day where I'm like, I'm going to spend 8 hours and play it, which is not as often for me anymore unless I stay up and pull an all-nighter. But I'm excited for Zelda. I'm definitely going to the 9 o'clock release. I miss midnight releases of games back in the day. And now that they do 9 o'clocks, it's a different experience. But I weirdly like being around like all these other people that are somewhat like-minded, at least in a hobby. We'll put it that way. And it's just kind of fun to like nerd out with people. The last time I did this was Kingdom Hearts 3. And
Really?
that was kind of an interesting crowd. So I'm excited for this. Like, I don't go to them all the time because I usually tend not to buy like, I don't know, games that often are big ones. So with this, I was like, I want to, right? Like Zelda, I can't go wrong. And, it's Nintendo. They never really go on sale either. So might as well buy it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. But in the meantime, as there's like a good 3 or 4 games I'm currently playing, I at least want to go over the short ones I beat. And the first one I beat after Hollow Knight, and I felt like this was the perfect game to go to afterwards because it was the complete opposite in themes and atmosphere. And it was called A Short Hike. I feel like this was an
adorable looking game.
I loved it. It is short, I know people did complain about that a little bit. I think it was, it's only $8. And, for me, I think I spent about 2.5 hours on it, which, that I got my money's worth. It was such a calming experience. And I played it at the end of the day when I was just like needing to unwind. And I felt like this game was just a nice warm blanket going over me in the nice winter night. Like I love the graphics. It's got that like kind of fuzzy pixel look to it that just looks really, really good. It's got calming music. The humor in it is good. And I mean, it tells a good story. You can interpret it in many ways. For me, it was kind of like I've been going through a lot of ideas of what I want to do in life recently. And I feel like it's always like kind of an uphill battle or like, a hike. And this game kind of tackled that idea really well. And I don't want to say it gave me clarity, but it definitely made me feel better about myself. And I was surprised because when I first saw the trailer and heard how short it was, I kind of wrote it off. And I'm not usually one of those kind of people either that writes off short games. But I love this game, and I'm like really surprised like how many positive reviews it has. Like even on Steam, it's got like almost 12,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. Like it's a good game. Like I recommend this game if you need a cozy, happy game.
I'm kind of surprised. I mean, but those kind of games are fantastic, honestly, with just getting you just kind of calming the spirits, right? I feel like there needs to be a few more games like that you can just kind of veg out a little bit or zone. It's almost like getting a meditation app on your phone. It's just a nice way to just like calm down and all that. Yeah. It looks great. And yeah, the graphics are pretty interesting, right? Like the pixelated ideas there and just the character design is really well done. But it's one of those that's always caught my eye. I just haven't played it, but hearing how short it is, it might be just a nice like breath of fresh air before some bigger games. Because right now I'm playing a very large game, one that is taking a lot of time, but I'm enjoying every minute of it, honestly. And so I right now I'm playing Xenoblade 3 a lot.
Nice.
A lot. I haven't played it yet, and I've always wanted to. I just never picked it up. But then Nintendo had that deal, right? $100 and you get 2 games, and I was like, well, screw it. And this I'm gonna pre-order Breath of the Wild, and I'll get that. Save $20. Here you go, right? It just seemed like a no-brainer to me. And it's Xenoblade is a fantastic game. I was a little worried after seeing, like how long the game is to beat. Of starting it before Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and but I know I'm actually going to be able to beat it before that game officially releases, which is pretty crazy, actually, because I'm about 50 hours into this thing, and I feel like I just started it last week. I just can't put it down. It's such an amazing, amazing game, and the story is just so fantastic. And at first, I was a little bogged down by the menus and the battle system because it's a very strange battle system, to be honest. It's you have a party of 7 and you only really control one person. You can bounce back and forth between other people, but you really don't have to. What's kind of fascinating about this is that the AI is pretty smart when it comes to things. Like if you have healers and someone gets down, they'll cut their combo right there and go run and try and res you, which is great. And they're healing, they're applying buffs, debuffs the whole time. All that matters really is you setting up their moves and their equipment and what class they have, and then just watch it go, which is pretty great, like an amazing thing. And then you just lead with your character, whoever you want to be. I mean, you can literally be any one of the people in the party, which is pretty cool, out of the 6. And it's fun. It's weird. It's one of the most in-depth RPGs I've played in a while, but at the same time, it feels the most hands off which is weird. So it's kind of like I don't feel like I'm playing chess and I have to think and strategize that much, which is nice, to be honest. I mean, there are some fights that get a little tricky, but if you do lose a fight, it just asks, hey, do you want to retry that battle? And then boom, it hops you back in. But the nice thing is it does put you back in the menu so you can change your class, change your equipment if you feel like you need to add more healers or whatever it may be to try and tackle it again. Or maybe the hero, like companion that you have with you, just isn't syncing or making sense for this one. Maybe you need a defender or something like that. You can swap them out on the fly and then retry the battle right then and there, which is really cool. And a lot of the stuff, though, I will say, like, I wish I could use the special abilities more because a lot of it's time-based. So you just kind of have to wait. And if it's a long battle, then you'll get to use your badass moves. But if it's a quick one, then you don't really get to unleash them too much, which is interesting. But yeah, I know this game's been out for a little while, but I'm loving every minute of it. And like I said, the story is so in-depth and it's actually really interesting. It really speaks a lot about, that idea of who are you? What's your purpose? What should I be doing right now? And I love this whole like death and rebirth cycle that they have in it, which is it's really, really in depth. But I don't, spoilers, whatever, right? This game has been out for a while. Like you get born and you have 10 years to live, right? So they call it cycles instead of years. And in those 10 years, you're trained to fight and you're just fighting in wars that whole time. And the goal is to make it to homecoming, which means that you made it to your 10th year or your 10th term or cycle. And then your life gets returned back to the queen, which then they don't know this, but then you're reborn once again to do this cycle all over, right? And it's just a constant war that's going on forever. And at one point you basically like wake up like Matrix style, right? And that's when all hell breaks loose, right? You join the Ouroboros and which is a great term, right? Like it's kind of like the perfect icon to have in this style of game is the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. It's a never ending cycle. It just keeps going on and on and on and on, right? And you find out like you've lived multiple life cycles, and there's so much to this game that's just so cool. And the one thing I really am enjoying about it is that there's a lot of different colonies. There's a lot of different heroes that you can pair up with, and then you get their abilities and classes. So like, I love me a good job system. This has an amazing job system in it, and it's very easy to use, right? It's very user friendly when it comes to job systems. And what's great about it is that every hero or every colony has their own ordeals or issues that they're going through. Every colony leader has a very different personality. Every hero has a very different personality, and everything is voice acted. So they put a lot of freaking work into this thing where everyone has like everyone is memorable and iconic in their own way, which is actually very, very cool for such a large cast of characters. They did a really great job connecting the world and making you actually like pay attention and know what's going on with everything. So it's really, really cool. And then you throw in the crazy anime like Evangelion fusion like mecha things that are there. It's just so dope and rad. I really, really am enjoying this title a lot. And if I had played this the year it came out, this would have definitely been like probably my game of the year. But since this is a little bit late in the in everything, I think it's going to be hard to top this as like if I play another JRPG later this year. Like I played Octopath 2 and I really love that game, but I feel like this would be my top RPG for the year, even though it's definitely not. It didn't come out this year, right? So it's tough. I mean, it's great. It's fun, and the world is massive. There's a lot to do and a lot to explore. You can easily play over 100 hours in this game and feel like you're not even playing it at all, honestly. In my opinion, I just think it's great. Like you can get bogged down by the details, but I think if you just play the game and let it do its thing, you're just going to enjoy yourself with it, which is really nice.
I don't know why I kept thinking this game came out this year. It came out last year in July. Wow. I don't know. Like, I feel like I only heard people really talk about it, like, kind of like in January, February. That's why I'm like, oh, it has been out for a little bit.
I would say it honestly, like, I don't throw this out there a lot for games. There's only probably a handful of games that I would say are a masterpiece. Like this is for the story alone, this is such an in-depth story. Like I love a good story in games, and there's something about this one that just grabs me. And them learning about like life and babies and all this, like it's weird. It's a weird thing to think about, but like kind of stepping away from it for a moment and not over analyzing it and just letting the story wash over. It's really, really enjoyable. Like it's a really great game, and God, like the AI is so brilliant. That's what keeps like fascinating me. Like I feel like I could initiate a battle and walk away, and the AI are just going to know exactly what to do and just kind of handle it. Like you can control them and say like, oh, do these kind of combos, focus on one enemy, right? Focus on these kind of moves, but you don't really have to go that far into it if you don't want to. You really don't. So it's really go as deep as you want to with this kind of game. And if you just want to enjoy the story and like go through it and let the game kind of drive you along that way, then that's a possibility too. And it works. It's so good. Yeah. I'm really happy with this one.
I really need to get back into that series. I really enjoyed the first Xenoblade. And I was kind of like put off by 2 just because it didn't really seem my style. And then when I saw 3, I was like, ooh, this actually looks really good. And I know that supposedly the DLC that just came out like ties all the games together and kind of goes over the bigger picture of everything. I didn't want to look too much at it because people said basically as soon as you start it, it's basically spoilers for the whole series. So I'm like curious because I really want to play it, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't need another RPG series. It's going to take like a lot of my time.
I think I might be able to beat it in 60 hours. So
it's not too bad. This is going off topic because I haven't played it actually this year now that I look at my schedule, but like last year I got really into like Trails, the Trails series. And I know like I think Trails of Azure or one of those just got released this month, I think last month, and I had only played Trails in the Sky because I wanted to do the actual timeline, like in the game.
Go through it, yeah.
And I beat the first two, halfway through the third, and I just got distracted. It's not that the story was boring, but you know, I hunger for like a series where it's like all these other arcs that form into one, and I don't know, like I need to get back into like a series like that. I just feel like the Trails games are just very long for what they are. But yeah, Xenoblade for me, like, I need to give it a shot. I really want to play X. I know it's only on the Wii U, but I feel like that just looks damn cool because you got big robots and everything. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm just really wanting to play an RPG because I keep telling myself I will, but I keep getting distracted by these little cute short games that I've been playing.
And there's nothing wrong with
Which, yeah, I guess it's what my brain needs right now. It's just something kind of relaxing, brainless, which, you know, good little segue to the next two very short games I played that I enjoyed. Well, this one I had followed for a little while. It's called Mail Time. Basically cottagecore for those out there that don't know what that means, which I feel like is most people. Basically imagine, you know, like, not fairy tale, but, you know, think about like Peter Rabbit, like that aesthetic, like garden time, like cute little bunnies and cute little mushrooms and just cute garden stuff. I'll put it that way.
Like Ooblets kind of style for people who play that.
Yeah, just even the aesthetic of the color aesthetic of it is like fall, you know, leaves turning, stuff like that. That's how the game looks. And I remember seeing it, I think, during an Indie World presentation, one of the Switch things. And I thought it looked cool. So I played it, and it was really buggy. I kind of played it early, so I don't think they had patched it at the time. But there were times where like quests weren't popping, stuff like that. So it was a little hard to play. I still beat it, but overall, I thought the game was really cute and I liked what I played. I just, maybe if they added a little bit more story wise or like fixed the bugs, I probably would have been a lot more happy with it. But the core game was really cute and I did really like what was there. You know, it's another cute, friendly, simple game, like a short hike. But I feel like didn't hit me as hard as a short hike did. But now I'm going to get into a very short game. And this game can be 5 minutes long or it can be 30 minutes long. But this game took me by surprise. Because I think I hadn't laughed at the game this hard in a while. But Pineapple on Pizza.
You were talking about this.
Is a free game on Steam. And it is so goddamn enjoyable. Now, you look at the trailer for it, and you're just like, ooh, this is some nice dancing music. Everybody on this island are dancing, having a great time of their life, right? They're all doing different dances. You could look at it and be like, God damn, they're copying Fortnite, right? Like everybody does a Fortnite dance in this. Even a dab. But like, there's obviously something that happens in this game that kind of makes it a little different. I don't want to spoil it because I mean it's such a short game. It would basically like, you know,
ruin it. Yeah,
it's a 15-minute game. Like anybody can go out there and achieve this as long as they have a computer. But this game's got 15,000 reviews and that's overwhelmingly positive. But this game gave me such a good chuckle. Like it came out this year too, and yeah, oddly enough, so far this is like one of the games higher on my list of games I enjoyed this year. Like
That's really
It's
funny,
just,
but it says a lot about the game. If it's that short and is able to grab you that much, that's pretty impressive.
it's got the music is addicting, even though it's on a loop. All the little people are cute. They're all doing different dances. The island is nice. You know, you're on this island with a big volcano in the middle of it. And yeah, it's a great game. You know, I think if you're out there and you're listening, you have Steam and you just want something cute and kind of, I'll put interesting, right? I definitely recommend this game. Plus, it's free. You can't go wrong with free.
Yeah, no, that's always good.
So that was very enjoyable. And then I think the one game, this is going to be the last game I've completed. And then later on, I'll talk about the games I'm currently playing. But this game really took me by surprise. I think, I don't say it's one of my favorite games of the year, but it's definitely up there, like in my top 5 so far.
Mhm.
And I kind of knew it going in because I kept seeing like trailer or videos for it. And I was like, this game looks beautiful. What is it? It's called Bramble the Mountain King.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching early footage of it, like a demo of it.
I thought it was really beautiful because they always showed this like image of this lady like coming out of the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, it looks so real, looks so good. And yeah, this game does look really damn good. Like there's certain times the stages look so good, like the grass and the tall weeds, like you feel like you're there. But basically the story is you are a little boy whose sister climbs out one night of her window, right? And they live, I think it's like a Nordic fairy tale it's supposed to follow, Nordic, Slavic.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine Little Nightmares meets folktale, like Grimm's story tales. It reminds me a lot of that, right? Your movement, your controls is a lot like Little Nightmares, but you're like in a forest.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this game. Like, it ran great for me. I had no problems at all with bugs, anything like that. It looked great. The platforming was pretty good. There were certain parts, like in the water, that was kind of weird, but this game has such an interesting atmosphere. You know, you're going through different areas. With every area, there's kind of like a boss for that like chapter or segment.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like pretty grand and big. And I feel like people would classify this like in the horror genre, even though it's more so just like, it's not super spooky. It's just kind of like,
it's horror in the way Little Nightmares is, right?
Exactly. It's a little unsettling at times. Like there's definitely some points where you're like, whoa, this is getting a little darker than you think, which to me really captures that kind of like grim
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, even though no, this is more so inspired by folklore or folk tales rather than like Grimm's tales. But in the sense that Grimm starts out kind of like normal and then gets very dark, that's how I felt this game got. And it goes places with some of the story, and I was kind of surprised. Like it felt like a good little roller coaster ride. And you know, it's pretty straightforward. You know, there are little like statues you can kind of pick up throughout the game, but they're not important. You know, at least not that I noticed. But I loved it. I beat it within on an afternoon. So I mean, it was like a couple hours long. It wasn't super long, but I really liked it. I think if you're craving that Little Nightmare style, like this game does it really well. And it's just, it was just cool. I'll almost put it that way. Like it surprised me a lot.
It definitely looks amazing. Like as far as from a technical standpoint, it looks like a great game for sure.
I think it's Unreal 5.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the things that game engines can do right now are just insane, especially Unreal. The graphics are huge. Yeah. The fact that we can have realistic anything to the point where you don't even know if you're looking at a game anymore is pretty insane. But Unreal's always been amazing with their lighting and all that stuff. So, yeah. But actually, speaking of Unreal and game engines, one thing I've been doing a lot lately, because the game that's been taking up all my time, honestly, is Xenoblades, right? Like, I've dabbled in a couple other ones, like Peglin on the phone, because I was always curious about it. And it's okay, right? Like, it's not an amazing game. I don't know why it's so popular. It's just, I don't really like the random chance of everything, and I don't really feel like I'm doing anything in that game. So it makes sense as a phone game, right? It's very much like an idle roguelike, which is, it could be fun. I don't know. But it just wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest. And I played a little bit of Indivisible because it's been a game that I've been wanting to play for a while, right? And it is a very interesting combat system that I'm still debating if I like it or not. It's weird. It's weird. But really cool art style, great character development too. I'm actually amazed by the last 2 games I've been playing have really amazing character development, something that some designers overlook very easily, right? But speaking of that, and speaking of game design and all that good stuff, I've been dabbling again in Unity, which is what I used a lot in school. Like I use consistently only Unity, and I strayed away from it after I graduated. And then now with my job, we're currently like remodeling and we're getting new PCs. So it's like, oh, maybe we can actually teach a Unity class. Because the PCs we had before, they actually would like blue screen on Unity. That's how bad they were. And we were running a digital studio out of that with those units. And we were able to run successful programs, but I had to find really light programs, which made me find other game making tools like Godot and Construct, which are fantastic. But it's just, I've always wanted to go back to Unity. So I figured might as well start playing around with it again. And that, honestly, I started working on our idea of what we want to make. And it was a lot easier than I thought. Like, it's a very long setup for Unity. I forgot how big of a program that is, plus Visual Studio and everything. The download is ridiculous. But once it's all said and done, it's amazing. It just feels good. Like, this is what a game engine or like a game IDE or editor should feel like. It just feels right, and it feels like you're making a game. And I think with the IntelliSense was always a thing whenever I was in school. And IntelliSense, for people who don't know what that is, it's whenever you're scripting, the code or the engine that you're using is kind of guessing what you're going to type next, right? Or it just kind of puts a few options out there. You can hit tab and it auto completes, so you don't have to type out everything. But I feel like it has gone so far now where it was actually writing out full lines of code using the variables that I had created, and it was correct. It was exactly what I wanted to type. And I was like, oh, sweet, tab, right? Like, it just sped up the process, and it never felt like the code was slowing me down. Because especially in the early days when I was trying to learn how to code, there was a lot of, wait, how do I do this? Go to Google, look up some forms, go to Stack Overflow, figure it out, go back to the code, type it, hit save, go back to Unity, let it load, and then run it. Shit, that didn't work. Do it again, right? Rinse and repeat. But this time it felt very quick, like very optimized. And it's kind of amazing. You can tell it's been a while since I played with Unity, because this is probably, for people who out there who make these games, are probably like, yeah, what are you talking about? That's just how it's always been. But I'll tell you this, it has not always been that way. I've been doing this for a little while now, and it's kind of amazing to see. So, and it's really funny because I know that we've had conversations of what game engine should we use, what should we learn, and for a while there I was really leaning on Godot because it's what I was using in the classes, and I really enjoyed it. But I feel like Godot is the little brother to Unity. Like, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of like ease of access stuff that Godot has, but Unity is a powerhouse, right? Like it is a very, very strong program to use. And just using it again, it feels right. And there's just something about the colors too of Visual Studio that just remind me of school and coding and my time learning, and it just feels good. Like it's funny whenever I use other IDEs, I like even with the Arduino using the Arduino IDE, I found a plugin to make it look like Visual Studio, which is
Really?
stupid. Yeah, because I was like, there's just something about the coloring, like the way it's used. It's just, it, I don't know, it's very pleasing, and it makes things stand out very clearly, where it's just kind of easier to read. There's just, I don't know, there's a lot to it that's really nice. So no, I'm just really enjoying my time with it. And as a little like tech demo, I set up a procedural generation where everything is fully automated. Once you hit play, you don't see anything on the screen, which is really cool. Working on terrain destruction, which is really nice, and then character movement as well. And in hopes to get that multiplayer game out for us, the one that we've been wanting to make for quite a while now and kind of talked about. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great little learning tool, but I want to start playing around more with the visuals that Unity has to offer, and because there's some beautiful games out there made in Unity. It just takes the time to really learn it and know how to properly light a scene, which I think is really interesting. So I'm excited to kind of dive further into it some more and just keep learning. Honestly, it's just been a blast.
Yeah, hearing you talk about it recently has really kind of inspired me to really try to like dive into it, and I'm excited. Like I always wanted to make a game since I was a kid, so being able to feel like it's accessible makes it really nice with that like predictive text kind of thing going on with it. I'm like, okay, this is gonna make it a lot easier for me. Like I'm excited. I feel like it's finally accessible to me.
Right.
And I definitely want to play around with it because, you know, the extent I've had with a game engine is RPG Maker from like 2003, which,
yeah, you need to update.
Yeah, I mean, hey, people still use that specific version of RPG Maker, and it was really good at the time. It's very cozy, but yeah, it's like there's so many changes in the world with engines that it's like I'm really enjoying the little bit I've played around with Unity. But when you spoke about Godot, I actually have been playing a game made in Godot that is phenomenal. I think I'm about to beat it because I'm on the last chapter. I was playing a little bit before the start of this episode, but Case of the Golden Idol.
Ooh, what's that?
This game is awesome. It's a lot of people hype it up to be the spiritual successor to Return of the Obra Dinn, which I have not played, even though so many people rank that very highly on their top indie list, which is kind of surprising because I feel like when it came out, I was like wondering what all the hype was about. And then I look and people praise it. And I'm like, I get it. There's not a whole lot of cool detective kind of games out there. So I kind of want to play it. Plus, I like that 1-bit aesthetic. But Case of the Golden Idol, it scratches some itches that I've been kind of wanting recently, where it feels like a point and click game. But basically you are following the story of this golden idol that kind of goes through different hands, right? There's different murders in every little episode you do. So like a point and click, you click all around the different screens, get your clues, right? So every time, you know, you'll see a word highlighted, right? So say the knife, or you'll see knife. You click on that because it has a line under it. You add it to your little word bank at the bottom of the screen. And usually it'll tell you how many words there are in that scene. So say there's 30 words. You go through all the different things to click through. You see the characters. You get all your words. Now you go to your other screen where there's images of all the characters on that scene. So you can name them And then there's also usually something to the right that kind of helps you figure out what happened in that scene.
Okay.
And then once you're done with those, then you can draw your conclusion to what happened in that scene. And it gets very difficult after a while. Definitely where I'm at now, I'm like, oh my God, there's like 40 words. And it's like, there's so many little tiny clues and everything. I'm just like, I really like this game. I remember it came out late last year, I think in December. And so it didn't really make that many people's like top game of the year list, but there was a couple people where they were like, this is the best game of the year. And I'm sitting there like, really? This game? Like, it looks kind of goofy, but I've come to really love this look. Like, it looks like, I don't want to say like an Amiga game, but it's definitely that like mid to late 80s PC era adventure game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very low texture, like just it, but it looks good and it's very enjoyable. Like for anybody out there that likes detective style games and has a PC, I could easily recommend this game. I really like it a lot. And the story has been really interesting. You know, like I said, I'm on the final section. I think I have 2 scenes left that I have. And it's been great. Like, I can see why some people really hype this up. And now it makes me want to play Return of the Obra Dinn just to see what everyone was hyping it up to be. And yeah, it was interesting because on the bottom of the screen at the start, it says Made in Godot. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, it's always kind of cool when you see something that's not made in either Unreal or Unity. So,
yeah. It is nice, actually.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying it. You know, it's definitely different than any game I've played this year, which is good because we have a list going where it's like games we want to play that have been like, you know, critically acclaimed or really must plays. And a good chunk of them are, you know, point and clicks because, you know, 90s, that was king, at least on the computer. So getting my little itch in with this, I'm like, ooh, now I kind of want to play more. And, you know, I'll have this finished before Zelda. So it's kind of that nice little in-betweener.
Right.
But it's a pretty stark comparison from the other 2 games that I've been playing. And, well, actually, I wanted to bring this one up too. I started this the other day, but I don't know. I feel like it's getting a little too smart for me or a little too difficult. It's called Unwording. It's basically you are overcoming negative self-talk. So, you know, you wake up in the morning and you just don't want to wake up, right? Like basically like your character is saying all these negative thoughts and you have to do a word scramble and be positive. Well, so at the start, you know, it's just a normal thing and then you write negative and then it kind of reverses over time. Like your life, it goes from like black and white to gaining color to becoming 3D over time. It's an interesting little story for a game that doesn't really tell you a story. It's more so like you're living your story.
Right.
But that's been a nice little break. I kind of put that on hold just because these other 2 games have been really taking up my time. And the shorter one of the 2, Mr. Sun's Hat Box.
Hell yeah.
This game's great. It's a kind of like a roguelite. It's run based, but it's you. Mr. Sun had his hat stolen, right? A package. And so basically you are the Amazon and you're like, oh, we're going to get that package back for you. We're going to build a base in the basement of your shop. So basically over time, when you collect money from your runs, you build rooms underneath his shop. And different hats have different properties, right? Some hats allow you to get jumped on. Other ones will shoot bullets out if someone jumps on it. The game's adorable. And I like that it's pretty original, since I've never seen really anything like this to an extent. And I feel like it just came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't hear anything about it, and then I heard a couple people talk about it, and I was like, And it gets difficult. Basically your runs consist of you either assassinating a character or kidnapping. And kind of the gimmick of it is like, you can do kind of like, I forget the term, but it's, a lot of it in Metal Gear Solid 5 where you can tie like a little parachute to something and it like flies it up.
Yeah, I've been trying to remember what that was.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but you can do that with weapons, you can do that with hats, or you can do that with bodies. So you can arrest enemies or knock them out. And when you send them back to your base, you can interrogate them and make them a usable person for your runs.
Is it called a Fulton recovery? Yeah, Fulton.
That's what it is? Okay.
Yeah. Or Fulton surface to air recovery system. That's apparently a real thing, which is kind of cool.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice, enjoyable little game. I feel like I always need to have one of those kind of like run-based games going while I play other stuff. And this game does it really well. I don't know why it kind of reminds me of a side-scrolling Enter the Gungeon. Maybe because of the way the characters look. But the mechanics, basically, if you're not using weapons, you basically jump on their heads like Mario to knock them out. And yeah, it's cool. Your characters get like advantages and disadvantages. So it's kind of like Rogue Legacy, where your character might faint if they kill somebody or knock somebody out. So it adds a little challenge. But yeah, I'm really liking that game a lot. It's different,
It's one that I've been wanting to check out because I remember bringing it up to you too at one point, and like I picked it up on sale on the Switch because I had a bunch of like gold points, so I got it for $1, which is just kind of ridiculous.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. So I was like, oh hell yeah, I'll get this. So I definitely want to check it out. I have it downloaded. I haven't played it yet, but it just looks adorable. I mean, I first heard about it on the Besties podcast, the MacWarrior one, and they talked it up, and it just seems so interesting, like a weird mixture of multiple weird, like strange genres, right? And so I'm kind of excited about it. This will be one that I definitely play, and who knows, maybe I'll end up playing this before I play Zelda. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see you liking this game. Like it's pretty enjoyable and it's different. I definitely want to kind of go back to it, but it's definitely one of those games where it's like, I'll do one or two little missions and then call it a night kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
But, a game that really surprised me that at first I really had no interest in playing, but, after kind of avoiding the new Star Wars game, because I was like, I'll wait till it goes on sale, because it always does.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm down to play Redfall because, it's multiplayer. I've been wanting a good co-op game and I have Game Pass. And after seeing how bad that ran, I was like, well, I don't want to play that either. Dead Island 2 has surprised me in a lot of different ways. Mostly because I didn't think I was going to get it. I really enjoyed the first game back in the day. Playing a co-op, had a really great time with it, and kind of forgot about it after. I only played that. I never played the DLC or Riptide or anything. And then, the whole story behind Dead Island 2, where, it was in development hell for 10 years, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
When it was announced, I was like, oh, that looks cool, but the characters probably talk too much and they'll annoy me. I want nothing to do with talking main characters like that. And so it came out and people were like, this is the epitome of a 7 out of 10 game, which kind of perked my ears because I'm a person that usually loves games that are rated 6 to 7s out of 10 because to me they're usually fun. I also feel like that's the score reviewers a lot of times give good games that, you know, they're not getting paid to promote.
Yeah.
By a 9 or a 10. So I was like, oh, that's a good score. You know, some people were like, oh, this game's kind of the same old. And I was like, okay, whatever. I won't pick it up. I'll wait for a sale. And then a week or two later, people were like, this is a return to the 360 era of gaming. And people were like, this is a really fun experience. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been wanting that. So I picked it up, been playing with a friend, and I've been enjoying it a lot, actually. Like, you know, the story's whatever. It's your typical zombie survival kind of stuff. But, you know, it's enjoyable. The characters are kind of funny. You know, it takes place in LA, so you have a lot of LA stereotypes of people. The maps are pretty. Like, the game is beautiful. I really enjoy going through these different, like, imaginings of LA. And, you know, the combat just feels so good. Like, I was worried that, you know, 10 hours in, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sick of hitting them with my bat, you know, like melee weapons, right? Or, you know, guns. But because the way the physics are in that game, where you can just bash off their arm or cut off their leg or just mangle their bodies, it's so cool every damn time. Like, no matter how many times I fight a zombie in this game, I'm like, this just feels great. This is the future of body physics. But it's cool. Like, I'm really enjoying it, you know? Like, it definitely does feel like a direct sequel in the way the game plays. Like, it, to me, I feel like it's like the perfect sequel, right? In the sense that if you disregard story and you just want quality of life improvements to the first game while making some cool additions, this is that game. This game does it very well and does a great job. And I think I'm on the last main story mission in it. There's a bunch of side missions, but I'm surprised by it. You know, I really think it's fun. I don't know what I would say if I was playing it by myself. I feel like maybe it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah.
But for a co-op experience, hell yeah, this game has been very enjoyable.
It looks like a great like game to play with your friends, honestly, because of the goofy crap that you can do, or like just the shenanigans that you can get into, right? It just kind of feels like it's built for that specifically.
Oh yeah, you can do so much, and like if you really want to mess with like your companion, it's so easy. Like, just throw a bunch of water on the ground, throw a battery at them so everyone gets shocked. Like, it's a fun time. I'm definitely enjoying it, which is cool. You know, I feel like with the current releases of all these AAA games kind of being broken, it was cool seeing this game basically run good right out the gate.
Yeah, I do. I like from what I've seen, I like the weapon combination stuff that you can do. I think that's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks good, right? It looks like a great, like, visually, it looks fantastic. So, yeah, no, it's cool little game for sure. All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week. We hope you guys have enjoyed our little recommendation / update of what we were playing. And who knows, maybe you found something that you were interested in and now you want to play it. Well, you're welcome, right? Because there's a lot of amazing games out there, and we have such a like flood of amazing new content coming out when it comes to the gaming world itself. And, you know, I forgot who it was. There's another, I read an article or something where this is like the COVID flood of gaming, because everything got postponed for so long, and then now all of a sudden, boom, here it is. And that's why we're seeing such amazing releases, whether it's small games from small developers or big games like, you know, Tears of the Kingdom or the new Final Fantasy 16 right around the corner. Like, there's a lot to look forward to and a lot to play right now. So get out there and start playing. Turn on your consoles, do some stuff, enjoy your time with it. And real quick before we hop off, I'm going to recommend a new show on Netflix that everybody should be watching. It's called Sanctuary. If you like sumo, if you like anime, this is definitely an amazing show. It's not anime at all, it's actually live action, but it feels like you're watching one. And it's just such a rad story and such a cool game or cool show. I'm hooked 100%. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk to you guys next week with some more games and all that good stuff. But until then, bye for now.